Hello everyone, welcome to your English class students. Today we are going to cover one of your reader lesson and the name of the lesson is homesickness. This lesson is about a boy who is homesick. Now what is homesickness? The term homesickness is basically it is missing our home when we are away from it. It is basically a very desperate feeling to get back at our home. So, as I have told you, this story is about a boy who is away from his home in his hostel and is very badly homesick. So, to get back to his home, he made an excuse. He pretended that he is having a severe appendicitis, due to which he is bearing the pain. Finally, he reached his home with this excuse, but he is caught by his family doctor. Now let us see what happens in the detailed discussion of the lesson. I was homesick during the whole of my first term at St. Peter's. Homesickness is a bit like seasickness. You don't know how awful it is till you get it. And when you do, it hits you right in the top of the stomach and you want to die. So here the narrator is telling that he was away from his home. He was in his hostel in the school St. Peter's and he was homesick. And he compared the feeling of homesickness with the feeling of seasickness. Seasickness is a situation, it is a feeling when we are in a ship and we desperately want to get back to the port. So, as he is comparing both the situation and he is telling that you won't get this situation until you won't understand the situation until you will get it. And when you get the situation, you would know how bad it is. The only comfort in the both this situation of homesickness and seasickness that both are curable. Curable means both can be corrected. The homesickness can be corrected as soon as you leave the school campus, your homesickness is gone. And as soon as you enter the port, your seasickness is also gone. I was so devastatingly homesick during my first 2 weeks that I set about devising a stunt for getting myself sent back home, even if it were for a few days. So here the narrator is telling that he was so homesick that he was missing his home so badly that he made a plan. Actually, he made an excuse. So my idea was that I should all of a sudden develop an attack of acute appendicitis. So he had a plan that all of a sudden he should get an acute attack of appendicitis and he will pretend that he is having appendicitis, due to which he is having pain and he should be sent back to his home. You will probably think that it is silly that a 9-year-old boy should imagine he could get away with a trick like that, but I had sound reason for trying it on. So here the narrator is saying that you would think that for a 9-year-old boy it would be silly to get away with a trick like this. But he said, I am having a sound reason for trying it. Only a month before, my sister, who was 12 years older than me, had actually had appendicitis. So here the narrator is saying that before 1 month only, my elder sister, who is 12 years old, actually had the appendicitis. So for several days before her operation, I was able to observe her behavior at close quarters. So before her operation, the narrator got a chance, he got a real chance to observe all the behaviors that his sister was doing. I noticed that the thing she complained about most was a severe pain down in her lower side of right tummy. So he said that I observed that the most of the time my sister was complaining that she is having the pain in her tummy, lower tummy on right side. As well as this, she kept being sick and refused to eat and run temperature. And apart from this, she was not able to eat and she was constantly having the temperature or fever. As I went upstairs and knocked on the brown door after the breakfast, I didn't even feel frightened of the matron. So to now this plan, he was executing this plan and he went upstairs to the matron's room. Matron is a lady who take care of the students in the hostel. So he went to that matron and he said, I did not feel any kind of fear. Come in, boomed the voice. I entered the room clutching my stomach on the right hand side and staggering pathetically. And he entered, he just pretended that he is having a very severe pain in his stomach. So he crunched his stomach with his right hand. What's the matter with you? The matron shouted. It hurts, matron, I moaned. Oh, it hurts so much just here. So the matron asked that what is the matter? Why the boy was there? He said, the narrator replied that he was having a pain in his stomach. You have been overeating, she barked. What do you expect if you guzzle currant cake all day long? So the matron said that what would you expect if you overeat the cake all day long, then you would get the stomach ache only. I haven't eaten a thing for days. I lied. I couldn't eat mutton. I simply couldn't eat. And he was so good at this pretending. He was so good at this acting. And so he's lied. उसने झूठ बोला that I have not eaten anything because it is like paining in my stomach. Get on the bed, she ordered. I lay on the bed and she began to prodding my tummy violently with her fingers. Now he said that I lied on the bed and she began to inspect my tummy with her fingers. I was watching her carefully, and when she hit what I guessed was the appendix place, I let out a yelp that rattled the window panes. Ow, 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 I cried. Now when she touched the point where the appendix pain would be there, actually he thought the appendix pain would be there, he let out a quick shrill ow, 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 and he cried out. Don't, matron, don't. I slipped on the clincher. I have been sick all the morning. I mourned. And now there is nothing left to be sick with, but I still feel sick. This was right move. I saw her hesitate. Stay where you are, she said, and she walked quickly from the room. Now he, as I've told you, he was pretending very nicely. He was acting very nicely, and he said, from the morning I have not eaten anything. From the morning only I am feeling this pain in my stomach and I am not feeling good at all. And this trick really helped that boy. And the matron hesitated and she left the room and she told the boy to stay there only. Within an hour the doctor arrived. He went through the same prodding and poking, and I did my yelping what I thought were the proper times. Then he put the thermometer in my mouth. And after an hour, the school authorities called the doctor, and doctor also inspected the boy's stomach. And as per his plan, he let out a quick shrill cry because as he was telling that his stomach was paining. So after that, the doctor put the thermometer in his mouth. He said, it reads normal. Let me feel your stomach once more. Ouch, I screamed when he touched the vital spot. So the doctor said the temperature is normal. The boy does not have any fever. But let me inspect your stomach once more. But as soon as the doctor touched the stomach, the boy let out a cry, ouch. The doctor went away with the matron. The matron returned half an hour later and said the headmaster has telephoned your mother and she is coming to fetch you this afternoon. And the plan worked here. The doctor went away and after half an hour the matron returned and he told this boy that your mother is coming to fetch you. Fetch you means to take you to your home today in this afternoon. I didn't answer her. I just lay there trying to look very ill, but my heart was singing out with all sort of wonderful songs of praise and joy. Now he said, I did not answer to the matron because I was pretending that I was ill, but inside my heart there was so much happiness and I was feeling that I should dance with joy and with happiness because he was going home. I was taken home and felt so wonderful at being away from the dread school building that I very nearly forgot I was meant to be ill. Now, afternoon on that same afternoon, the mother of the narrator came and brought him to his home, and the narrator was so happy that he forgot that he should look ill. और वो भूल गया कि उसे तो बीमार दिखना है. That afternoon, I had a session with Dr. Dunbar at his surgery in Cathedral Row, Cardiff, and I tried the same trick all over again. But Dr. Dunbar was far wiser and more skillful than either the matron or the school doctor. And he was so happy during this after coming back to his home that he forgot that he had a meeting, he had a session with his family doctor. That family doctor was very wise and very intelligent. He was very intelligent, more intelligent than matron or the school doctor. After he had prodded my stomach and I had done my yelping routine, he said to me, "Now you can get dressed again and seat yourself on that chair." Now he also prodded, that means he also inspected his stomach with his fingers, and as soon as the family doctor also touched the stomach, the narrator cried. He cried like he gave out a false cry, and after that the doctor told him to be seated on the chair. He himself sat down behind his desk and fixed me with a penetrating but not unkindly eye. "You're faking, aren't you?" he said. Now the doctor caught him. Now his family doctor caught him and he said, "You are telling lie. Aren't you? You are telling lie." "How do you know?" I blurted out. And narrator said, "I was so surprised that I blurted out and I said, 'How do you know?' 'Because your stomach is soft and perfectly normal,' he answered. 'If you had an inflammation down there, your stomach would have been hard and rigid. It's quite easy to tell." Doctor said, "Because I am a doctor and I know the situation of each and every medical condition very well. Because I am a doctor. If you had an inflammation, if you had that medical condition of appendicitis, your stomach would have been very hard. But it is very soft and it is perfectly normal. It is quite easy to tell for a doctor." I kept silent. "I expect you are homesick," he said. I became silent. The narrator said, "I became silent," and the doctor replied me, "Are you homesick? I suppose you are homesick. You are missing your home. That is why you made an excuse like that." I nodded miserably, and he said, "Yes, I nodded." मैंने हाँ में सिर हिला दिया. "Everyone is at first," he said. He said कि it is happening with everyone. When you are away from your home, it is happening with everyone. You have to stick to it. Now he said, "Okay, I will help you. You continue this excuse of your appendicitis. I will help you. And don't blame your mother for sending you away for boarding school. She insisted you were too young to go, but it was I who persuaded her that it was the right thing to do." Now he said, "I will help you. I will tell your school authorities that you are having the infection, but you have to make a promise to me that you will not blame your mother for because she sent you to the boarding school, because she was not she insisted that she should not send you to the boarding school, but it was I." The doctor said कि मैंने ही उन्हें insist किया था कि you should go for a boarding school. Life is tough and the sooner you learn how to cope with it, the better for you. He said, life is tough for everyone. It is happening with everyone. जितना जल्दी तुम लाइफ को जानोगे उतना जल्दी तुम सीखोगे. The more sooner you learn to cope with it, the better you will be. "What will you tell the school?" I asked him trembling, and the narrator said कि मैंने उनसे पूछा that what will be you telling to the school authorities? Will you tell that I was lying, I was pretending, I was acting? He said, I'll say you had a severe infection of the stomach which I am curing with pills. He answered smiling. He said, "No, I will not tell the school authorities about your excuse. I will tell that you are having an infection which I am curing with the pills. I am giving you medicines and you are on a rest. It will mean that you must stay home for 3 more days." That means you can stay home for 3 more days. "But promise me you won't try anything like this again. Your mother has enough on her hands without having to rush over to fetch you out of the school." He said, now you have to make me a promise that you will not do this stupid thing again and again, because your mother is not able to bring you back from the school again and again because she is having a lot of work. I promise, I said, I will never do it again. And the narrator promised the doctor that he will never do it again. So students, this was your lesson, which was about a boy who was homesick, who was missing his home when he was in the hostel in the school. So with the excuse, he got back to his home, but his family doctor caught him and he made him understand that it is not the right thing to do. And at the last, the boy promised the doctor that he will not repeat such deed next time. So I hope you have understood it.